A home minister in the presence of the president himself issuing a fiat. And that is why Mheshimiwa Gamea, who was with us, and my colleagues, Rigathi Gachagua, Eugene Wamalwa, Wayne Mwingi, and all these leaders, and I remember Mheshimiwa Siad saying we should actually move to Garissa. And indeed we are moving to Garissa as soon as it's practicable. But we must, before we do so, talk directly to the Kamba community and the Somali community. And even then talk also to our brothers and sisters in Meru County, Isiolo County, because it's also a neglected. We were in Isiolo when we were in Meru with the Alternative Government Brigade, and we felt the pain of people in Mutuati who have since lost over 80 lives, and animals have been driven away. Deputy President himself is reputed to have gone there, and nothing whatsoever seems to have happened to ameliorate the situation, which is dire. So we are now dealing with a government which has completely failed to do the most basic thing, protection of lives of its citizens and property. The people who hired it was, what is this thing, a probox, drove all the way, and they are known. Quick investigation will apprehend those culprits who drove that probox into Kwamari and killed these people in cold blood. And those who slaughtered the young man, as I said. So, in Meru, in Isiolo, in Mwingi, in Garissa, in Wajir, in Mandera, I want to ask and speak directly to all the communities in that part of our country, since we are dealing with a government that seems to be even enjoying the conflict. I speak directly to both communities, Kambas and Somalis in this case, and I know that when you talk about the situation in Meru and Isiolo, we have also the Samburus and the Merus. Your pain, your fear, your anger, which is also reflected in the explosion in the social media space. I understand all of it. But retaliatory attacks must stop immediately. Every act of revenge adds another name to the list of the dead. A list that has no one who has ever come back from. We have lost lives, and that's a reality. The criminals who executed the Kwakamari massacre do not represent any community. They are simply criminals on a revenge mission. Therefore, we must not honor them by making their violence the beginning of war. Could be civil conflict. To my brothers and sisters in the pastoralist community, you are not criminals. Cooperate with security forces. Help identify the perpetrators who hide behind your great community. That is how you protect your people, your cattle, your camels, your children's future on this land. I welcome the news that governors of Kitui and Garissa, Dr. Julius Malombe and Mheshimiwa Nadif Adam, both of them, by the way, they are Azumio governors. They should be in the forefront in making sure there is peace and understanding in Garissa, in Mwingi, everywhere. They are meeting today. And I also know my good friend, Ambassador Mheshimiwa Nur, a former member of East African Community. He's actually the chair of Wafungaji wengine. He's trying to get here. And what I also recommend immediately is wazee wakutane haraka iwezekanavyo. And I am ready myself to run and drop everything else I'm doing, and we can meet them in Mwingi. Because some gentleman in Mwingi called Ahmed said, I've had this shop for 20 years and I cannot get out of my shop because of the fury and the anger which was witnessed yesterday in Mwingi. So those two governors and Member of Parliament for Mwingi Central na wazee wa area hiyo, I have met some of them, so that again we do not lose, because there is no way this government will apprehend these people the way we know them. They will not. So wazee wenyewe watakutana, wapange vile watahurumiana, watasaidiana na familia ambazo zimeadhirika. But you also read a political motive into this, because this has never happened. By the way, I must tell you, these two communities, Kambas with their bows and arrows, are deadly fighters. The Somalis with AK-47 are also tough. And if they start a conflict there, we see an intention of this administration escalating it and get an excuse even to delay the next elections, because that conflict can spread very fast. This is why we are saying, don't fall into that trap by Duale. Anasema hatuwezi kwenda Garissa, tupigwe mawe am tupigwe risasi, tutaenda. So you can now see so soon after those remarks, this is what is happening. It is not difficult to imagine a man or a woman is, an assailant is told, go and kill that young man in Ukasi, ndio Wakamba wakazirike, wafunge barabara, because hiyo barabara is very important, by the way. So, and then start this conflict. We must call off this bluff. Our people, both the Kambas and the Somali community and the Samburus and the Merus, let's call off this bluff. Because we should never give Ruto any excuse to want to postpone these elections. Already ameona umaarufu kwa mfano wa alternative government all over the country, and people of Garissa are waiting for us, and then he cannot see what is going to happen. He has lost ground everywhere. They thought that Kina Sifuna, Kina Karoli Omondi, and Kina Babu Owino will never go to Kisumu. They were there, so he's lost Kisumu. He's lost